You tormented souls.
Sound effects in this podcast is brought to you by Thessalian Studios, BattleBars.com, and Pro Sound, and some of them are made by the Dungeon Master himself. This show is R-rated, so everybody, be advised. Hey guys, welcome back to Nordic D&D, the Ariana Saga. My name is John, and I am your host and narrator in this podcast. Last episode we finished Hunter's flashback, and now we're gonna continue back to the live games. In this part we're going to follow Zovan Milferin, who has returned from the Shadowfell. He's played by my brother Kjartan Johansen, and Zovan's Segway storyline is a one-on-one Dungeons & Dragons game. This is episode 15, guys, and I'm excited to show you what is going to happen today. But before we get to that, let's take a trip to Camp Lore. Amazing. These gods look very powerful. Intimidating must it be to go into the halls of the Mountain King. Was it beautiful to see? Indeed. Like I said before, as beautiful as the outside look of the island are the halls inside. The entire hall itself is actually made out of celestial rock, but it is shiny like black glass. The floor, the walls are all in black. The soldiers, however, have a shiny silver armor, the cleanest you have ever seen. There are so many of them you can't see past them, and at the end of the halls, there he sits, the giant protector of Ariana, in white armor, with a white staff with a blue orb at one hand and a large two-handed silver battle axe in the other, holding it single-handedly. He is a giant, remember. He has a long white beard and deep blue eyes, almost like they're glowing. How come there's not more heard about him and his adventures and what he has done for Ariana? And why is he not more up and about saving Ariana, using his golems, dragons, and these silver soldiers? Easy now, boy. Easy. Well, no one knows actually, and it is a good question. But in this case, I simply don't know. But he is chosen by Valera herself, so there must be a meaning behind it all, son. I just find it strange, grandfather. I understand. Why indeed. This was this episode's stop at Camp Lore. Before we continue, here's a little announcement from BattleBars.com. If you like cool sound effects like this, then go to our homepage at podbean.nordicdnd.com, click on BattleBars.com and let them know Nordic D&D sent you. And yeah, I want to add that a lot of the music that I actually use in this podcast is actually from Thessalian Studios. And I would highly recommend using this material on thessalianstudios.com, so go check that material out. And I must confess also that a lot of the sound effects I actually make myself. They're home-brewed. There are so many times when you're using some sound effects and you just can't find exactly what you need, and you just have to improvise and do it yourself with material behind you or around you, and yeah, everything can be used. Anyway, let's get back to the show. In this episode 15, we're gonna continue Zovan Milferin. He has returned from a slumber where he has been into the Shadowfell. He doesn't know how long he's been gone. Nobody knows how long he's been gone. But let's see what happens as he returns more powerful than before. At this point, Zovan does not know exactly what is going on. Last he was standing in the Shadowfell, overwhelmed by light and power from the mighty Asuran. He's floating in midair. These words flow around in his head. It is done. It is done. It is done. Go with Valera. You have become the last missionary. Then all of a sudden, Zovan gains consciousness.
Okay. And as I wake up, I'll jump off the table and I'll just scream, "Where am I?" in confusion.
And as you do so, you hear somebody running and opens a door because you've been moved into the back. Crashes open the door and there is Iris. Zovan!
Iris! Oh my... What's happened?
You have returned. You have become what you need to be. Come eat. You must eat. I will tell you later. And as you walk around, you see that the once broken shop has been completely fixed up.
How?
You have been away a long time, boy.
For how long have I been?
A couple of weeks.
You were right. It felt like minutes, actually, down in the Shadowfell. I'm sorry. I feel a bit disoriented.
Of course, come on, sit, rest, eat. We will talk in a minute.
Yeah, thank you. My head hurts. What's happening?
So as you're sitting there in Iris's house, rebuilt, you're eating, she just sits staring at you with the biggest smile on her face, looking you deep in the eyes or forehead.
I'll try to touch my forehead.
Yeah, it has a scar. You feel it like it's not standing out like normal scars. It's like cut in, so you can feel like it's an open wound, but it's not an open wound.
What is this?
Boy, you now carry the mark of the missionaries.
The missionaries. Just one quick comment. Do I remember everything from the Shadowfell?
You remember everything from the Shadowfell, yeah.
Alright, proceed.
She looks at you and says, Zovan, can you show me the blade?
And I'll conjure it.
It is beautiful.
It is really amazing.
And then she says, Umbra Mortis, the sword of Azuran himself.
I feel so much power. I feel like my skin's gonna burst anytime.
Yes, it will fade. This is very much to get at once. But I feel the time has come for me to tell you about Asuran and the missionaries.
Please tell me.
She stands up, goes over to a shelf, takes a book off her shelves. It's very dusty. She dusts it off and sits down. Okay, boy. The mightiest of the Azimar was Asuran Iowin. He was the leader of the missionaries, who were sent by the god of light and life, Valera, to fight the darkness of Grimna that was covering Ariana in the Dark Age. They traveled all over the land, teaching paladins, clerics to use divine magic to fight Grimna's scourge. They were extremely successful, and Grimna was on the retreat, and Azuran got the highest of praise. But Asuran was betrayed by his right hand, Cyrus Cree, the second in command. He grew jealous and wanted to be praised as Asuran and to be as powerful. So he made an unholy deal with Grimna in exchange for his eternal servitude. Cyrus was to get the power from Grimna to become mightier than Asuran. In exchange, he was to use this power to hunt down and kill all Aasimar missionaries, starting with Asuran. Cyrus accepted, and Grimna gave him a powerful red crystal blade designed to do just that. But Cyrus thought he was wise and tried to trick Grimna. He waited until Asuran and the other Aasimar missionaries had pushed the darkness of Grimna on the ground, thinking he had outsmarted Grimna to escape his part of the deal, for he had a plan of his own to just kill Asuran and then take his place as head of the missionaries. So he continued fighting the darkness alongside his brothers until Grimna's scourge was defeated. So Iris waited for the opportune moment when Asuran was alone. He then took the red crystal blade and struck him in the back. Asuran screamed so loud it is said it was heard all over Ariana. And as the crystal blade was launched into Asuran's flesh, shadow came out of the blade, engulfing his body, so that the once glowing Aasimar became grey in color, and then black, overtaken by shadow. And Cyrus told him,
I take your life and banish your soul to the place you hate the most, Asuran, the Shadowfell.
And Asuran uttered his words.
So be it, Cyrus, but I bind my soul to my sword.
And then he took the sword out of his quiver, holding it up in the air.
May my seed avenge this treachery. Hear my prayer, Balra.
And as the shadow had covered Asuran, it started to cover the blade in his hand as well. And when the sword was almost completely gone except for the tip, and then a bright light covered the entire plain. Cyrus had to cover his eyes from the light, almost blinding him. When he opened them again, the body of Asuran just lay there. He laughed.
You were too late, Asuran.
His body started to evaporate like ash. Then, as Cyrus was to retrieve the blade, he saw the face of Grimna reflecting in it, and it exploded in his face. And he heard a faint laughter of Grimna. The broken crystal shards were buried into his face, and all his veins around the shards turned dark black, and he turned grey in color. His once bright white wings turned dark black, and the glow in his skin and eyes were gone. There was no way for Cyrus to hide what he had done now. So he was condemned by the remaining missionaries, and they locked him away. In his captivities, he was tormented by pains from the crystal shards, and Grimna's heinous taunts and whispers of despair.
Begone, Grimna.
The torture continued to the point. It completely broke Cyrus, and he was no longer able to resist Grimna.
Right. Relieve me of this. I submit to your will, God of death. Grimna.
So he gave in and swore to uphold his part of the deal. Then Grimna enslaved Cyrus to the darkness.
Cyrus Cree. The fool who thought he could trick the god of death. Your soul is mine. Eternal.
He had no longer will of his own.
Grimna!
Then Grimna released the full potential of the crystal shards, that he was engulfed in power, and he broke out of captivity.
Grimna!
And the slaughter of the missionaries had begun. It is said that he massacred them all, and no champion of Valra was able to stop him. And when he completed his task, he was left with a cursed life with no purpose, to wander the plains, meaningless, hated by all, to forever regret trying to trick Grimna. So this is the story of Asuran, but one cannot mention Asuran without mentioning Cyrus.
What you're saying is that I am the last missionary.
You are the last missionaries, the chosen one.
So I am the one to fight Cyrus.
That be it, yes.
Or to bring him to justice.
But that's not the only mission. No, mon. 'Cause signs of Grimna has been shown again on the earth, and I fear his return.
But I feel this is too much for one man to handle.
Yes, it is. That is why you must keep a low profile. Work silently in the shadows. Do not go against Cyrus by yourself. Leave that be. The more important thing is to stop Grimna from coming back to Ariana. And then she takes the cloth she once had in the box with the spear, at the tip of the sword. It's the same cloth that she had the flower inside. And she opened it up and it had a text written in it in Celestial. And she gives it to you.
I'll try and read the text to see if I can decipher what's standing there.
As you open the cloth, you can see that it's written in Celestial, and it says, "To the last missionary, if the return of Grimna's scourge will come, you must find the Nocturnal Cree. The Nocturnal Cree is buried in the graveyard city of Voy. I have buried it there under the grave tomb of one Damien Obadiah. He lies where the unknown are buried, those who have no title. Underneath his tomb or grave lies a dungeon, and inside the book is."
Okay. This note says I have to find the Nocturnal Cree.
The Nocturnal Cree.
Wasn't Cyrus's last name Cree?
That was his name. That is very strange. I have never seen this connection before. I've heard of the Nocturnal Cree, 'cause so many tried to open it, but no one seemed to be able to do so. But we all think that maybe the chosen one will be able to do this.
How would I open it? Just should I say anything, or just open it by force, or?
No, you cannot. I do not know. But I think the biggest issue is just getting the book before Grimna gets his hands on it.
Yeah. So I guess that's where my mission takes me.
That will be your first mission, yes.
Okay.
But I think that you were very well to hide yourself in the young boy of Zovan, mighty Asimar. Use that to your advantage if you meet Cyrus.
Yes, thank you for your advice. I will do so.
Go with Valera, my son.
I'll go with Valra.
Here. And she gives you a potion of supreme healing.
Thank you so much. You have done so much for me, Iris.
This is what I am famous for.
I can never repay you. Thanks is just a poor man's word, but I am forever in your debt. And should trouble ever pave your way, do not hesitate to call me.
It is alright, Zovan. Our destiny is intertwined. We do it for Ariana and for the god of light, Valera.
For Valra.
She just goes back into her room.
Ooh, this is a lot to take in. What's the time right now?
It's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
In the afternoon, okay. How am I do I feel rested?
Well, it's not that you're tired. You're physically more exhausted than you are sleepy.
Yeah, physically exhausted maybe. I'll just ask Iris if it's okay if I just lay down here a couple of hours before I go.
Of course, my boy, you rest as long as you want. I have done my part, the rest is up to you. I will aid you in any way I can.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Thank you, Iris. And so I'll go and rest I'll just take a long rest if I can.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And when I wake up again, I will bid my farewell to Iris. And I'll tell her that I'm thankful for everything, of course, and that I'll be back someday.
Go with the gods, especially Valra.
Yes, I will.
She waves you off, looks standing still until you are out of her sight.
See you, Iris. Okay, so I'll ride for the city of Boy. Do I know where it is?
You know where it is, yes. It's in the north side of East Morrow. A place that everybody knows about because people all around East Morrow come and get buried there.
Okay.
So it's a very large place.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go towards that location.
Yeah, that location takes a couple of days to come there.
Okay.
But do you feel like your destination is straightforward to that place, I suppose?
Yeah, I do not feel like I'm too caught up in the moment. I just want to get this resolved, and I'm kind of a race against time because I have to get there before Cyrus does, or Grimna.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll actually try and do it as fast as I can.
There's been a couple of days when you on your journey. Of course, can you roll me a survivals check to see how you do on rations?
Yes. Survival. That's a 11.
An 11.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. When you come close to a city called Oak Village, you feel like you have to stop to replenish your rations.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do exactly that. And how is the sleeping situation? Do I feel like I have to maybe get a bed or anything?
Yeah, after a couple of days rest on sleeping on the ground, you will do good in resting.
Yeah. So I think I'll do that. I don't want to be unprepared or underslept or anything. When I come to the town, I just want to be fresh, you know.
You come to Oak Village, and it's a small community of hunters. There's a lot of people in look like rangers around there. So where do you want to go?
Well, I'll just head into the town and ask anyone I see about directions.
Okay, and you're asking directions for the inn.
Yeah, for the inn.
Yeah, and you come past a young man standing. He just points. So go into Gregory Hunt's, and he points over to an inn or a tavern there.
Oh, well, thank you, sir.
He just nods at you.
I'll head for the inn.
Okay. As you come to the inn, you see that the door is broken, and it's just holding up by nails, just poorly fixed. but it's open. You can.
Okay, so it doesn't look like it's broken into or anything. It's just a broken door.
No. It's just no. It has been broken, just briefly fixed.
Okay.
And there's not so many people in there right now. It's early.
Yes. Well, I'll enter the building, and I'll head for the bar.
The barkeeper is nowhere to be found at this moment.
Is the barkeeper not there?
No, there doesn't seem to be anyone inside right now.
Oh.
Or not by the desk.
But there are people inside the inn.
Yeah, roll a perception check.
All right. 16.
Yeah. You don't see any people, but you hear some mumbling behind the desk.
Okay. I'll gently call them out. Hello? Is anyone here?
And you hear this guy as he's coming from behind the desk. Damn. Tiefling bastards. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm coming. Hello?
Am I coming at a bad time?
No, it's okay. It's okay. We just had some visitors here not so long ago. Pain in my ass.
I don't mean to intrude or ask any rude questions, but did you mention tiefling?
Yeah, there were a tiefling, 2 elves here not so long ago and broke my door in.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate.
I'm sorry, who are you?
My name's Zovan. Sorry.
Nice to meet you, Zovan.
I'm just a bypasser. I'm looking for something to eat and somewhere to sleep.
Okay, I can manage that for you. But do you know this tiefling and elves?
No, nothing. I was just curious because tieflings are not very common in Ariana. And it just sparked my interest.
No, these were assholes. To be honest, they broke my door, accusing me of all things.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's fine. They were not that wrong. They were after my son.
After your son?
Never mind. I'll. Yeah, it's okay. Never mind. I'll get the key. My son was a bad boy.
Okay. Fine.
And here.
Do you have anything edible?
Yeah, of course. We have some sausages. We haven't warmed up any stews or stuff like that yet. Some bread.
Yeah, that's fine. Could you give me a glass of water, maybe?
Yeah, I'll get it fixed. He walks around behind the desk, grabs some things like they were just like lying there. It doesn't take that long before he comes back, pouring up the water. And he says, that will be, well, if you give me 1 silver and 5 copper for the room and the food, that'll be fine.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Go rummaging in my pocket. I'll take up 2 silver pieces and I'll say, here's 5 copper as tip.
This is very nice. Thank you so much.
Oh, no, that's no problem.
Thank you.
Don't worry about it.
Do you need anything else?
No, if you don't mind, I'll just sit here quietly and eat my lunch and then I'll just head up to my room.
Okay, that's fine.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. And then just leaves the desk, goes back behind the counter.
And as I'm eating, I will gently try and see if I overhear anything.
Can you roll a perception check?
Yep. 8.
No, you don't seem to notice anything.
Alright, well, that's fine. So I'll just eat and I'll go up to my room. And I'll try to get some sleep.
So you sleep and you wake up at the evening or at night.
Alright. And as I wake up, I'll sit on my bed and I'll summon my sword.
Yes, it reappears.
And I'll just, place the tip on the ground. And I'll say a silent prayer to Valra and ask him to guide me on this holy quest. And just be with me in all my endeavors.
You feel that sense of warmth covering you again as you did before, but no word is spoken.
I'll head downstairs. And I'll ask the barkeeper if he has 2 sausages I can bring with me.
Yeah, just a second. Goes back and holds them in his hands between his fingers. Here you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I'll grab them and leave a silver piece on the counter, and I'll just leave.
Thank you kindly, sir. Takes the
You're welcome.
penny for himself. Can you roll a perception check?
With sausages in my hands, I will head for the boy. 10.
10, okay. Yeah. No, you just go outside normally. You don't notice anything. How do you proceed?
Now I'll just go to my horse and I'll ride for Voy.
Yeah, so you just take off.
Yeah, I'll take
Okay.
off.
When you come a bit outside
Yeah.
of the town, can you roll me another perception check?
Yes, sir. That's a 10 again.
Okay. Suddenly, when you come a bit between some trees, you are jumped. And make a dexterity saving throw.
And my dexterity saving throw is
Okay,
19.
so you're not even pushed off your horse. But you see this guy trying to jump on you and grab you and pull you off the horse, but you're really good lodged on. So he's actually sitting on the horse with you now.
Okay.
Roll initiative.
Oh, damn. Ooh. 6.
6. That's not that good, is it?
No.
Okay. This guy sitting behind you on this horse is still trying to push you off the horse. So you need you to do a strength check against my strength. Or the guy's strength.
Oh. 6.
Okay, he now pushes you off the horse and knocks you to the ground.
Yeah.
And you are off. That is his action, and then you see another one coming out
Alright.
from among the trees, and he says, "Where's the tiefling and the elves?" And holds a blade onto your neck, and he holds his action.
By God, what's happening? Why are you doing this?
Gregory Hahn said something about the tiefling and the elves. Yeah, elves. You mentioned them, didn't you?
I just heard them talking about them.
You don't know them, do you?
I don't know anything.
You sure? Are you lying?
I'm absolutely sure.
Why were you asking about them?
Because I heard them talking about them inside the inn. They were in the kitchen. I was waiting to get my order done, and I heard something about a tiefling and an elf.
Who are you and what is your business here?
My name is Zovan Velfaran. I'm just passing by.
Seems like a lie to me, doesn't it?
Why on earth would I lie to you?
Then the other one says, "Take his money back. At least we get some money out of him."
You're about to get robbed, boy.
You certainly will not.
Give me your money! It starts grabbing your money pouch, tries to take it out of your hand. Do you resist?
Okay. I will just summon my I will summon my blade.
Okay. Yes?
And I'll just, as he's trying to rob me, I guess he has lowered his sword.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'll just summon my blade and turn it against him and say, if you don't leave right now, I swear to God I'll cut you.
Roll an intimidations check.
27.
Demon! And they both go running into the forest.
What's happening to this town? I'll just, check my pockets to see if they pickpocketed me or anything.
Make a perception check.
8.
No, they did not. They didn't take anything from you.
Alright. Is my horse still there?
Yeah. Standing right right beside you. He wasn't that timid by it. He's used to you by now.
Okay, I'll go back to the horse and carry on.
Okay, and off you go. When you come close to Void, which is a place you have heard about, you haven't been there before, luckily haven't buried any family members, but you see that around the graveyard city are big towers. These towers have a purple crystal floating, hovering over them, and they are magical. There are 4 of them in each corner of the graveyard city, especially over there where the graveyards are.
Okay. How do I know they are magical? Oh, because they're hovering, of course.
Of course, there's a crystal hovering over them.
Makes sense. Okay. If I do not have any... No. I will try and see if it's like a barricade, an invisible wall. Like these crystals are forming some kind of defense system.
How close are you to them when you do this?
I'll get as close as I can to see if it hurts.
Okay, but how do you check? Do you just put your hands out in the air, or do you cast something, or?
Yeah, I'll just put my hands out of the air. I don't have anything.
Okay.
Really?
It doesn't seem like anything is happening.
Okay. I will walk into the graveyard then.
Okay, as you come to the gates, it is the walls around the city itself are white like marble.
Okay.
And the towers are white like marble as well. And the entrance is fenced like with steel spears.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a sign on the door. Do not use any magic in this area, or you will be struck by the guarding system.
Okay, I guess Okay. I get it.
The door is open.
I will walk in.
Yeah. As you come inside, there is a house right by the entrance, like a wooden shack, where there is light inside. At this time, when you have arrived in Voi, it's about 7 o'clock in the evening.
Okay. Well, I'll just be my casual self and walk over to the house.
Yes.
And I'll knock on the door.
As you knock on the door, you hear a chair moving from the inside. It's not thick walled, so the noise is very easily. And you hear steps coming closer, and the door opens. And there's an elderly man standing there with a big, wide beard.
Good evening to you, sir.
Hello. Who are you, if I may ask? And what's your business here?
My name is Zovan Obadiah.
Zovan Obadiah.
I was wondering if you, because this is the graves of the unknown.
Can you just, for a second before we proceed, roll me a deceptions check?
I will. 12.
Okay. He just looks at you. Okay. And what is your business here, Obadiah?
My great-great-grandfather, Damien Obadiah, lies here somewhere in the garden. And I was wondering if I could pay him a visit. I'm just strolling through town, and I thought it might be fun to see where he lies, where he rests.
Okay. Will you come inside with me for a chat?
Yeah, of course.
Come inside. Sit down. Do you want something to eat?
Alright, no, I just had 2 nice juicy sausages on the way here.
Okay. Well, they call me the Keeper.
Hello, Keeper.
I've been here a very long time. And I know a lot of secrets going around this graveyard. And I am the only one here who can cast magic without being struck by the towers. So you are warned. Now tell me again, why are you looking for Damien Obadiah?
Alright, like I said, he's my great-great-grandfather. And I just want to pay him a visit. Just to pay my respects.
Then tell me, where does he lie?
That's why I'm here. I do not know.
The grave city is very large, and it's very hard for me to know if you don't know where he is.
He is in the graves of the unknown.
Ah, because that will narrow it down a little bit, but yeah. The graveyard city is like this, or the grave area, that in the middle we have the royal area where all the royal families are buried. It's the glorious one, the statues and the gold. To the north we have middle class people, and to the west we have the lower class area. Problem is about the unknown, they are scattered all around and all between. And some of them, most of them, carry no name.
So you've never come across Obadiah?
I have come close to Obadiah, yes. I know about this grave, and I know that Obadiah does not have any family members.
Knowing family members, maybe.
Boy, what are you trying to do here? Do you think you are ready for that what lies inside the grave?
I'm sorry?
Do you think you are capable of handling what lies underneath that grave?
Pardon me, sir, but underneath?
I know about the grave. No one lies in the grave of Obadiah, Damien. It's kept away. And no one has ever spoken of the grave of Damien Obadiah since the missionaries were here. And that's been told to my ancestors for many years. By my fathers and his father's fathers and his father's father. So trust me, my boy. My curiosity has always been about Damien Obadiah's grave. The grave of the unknown.
All right, I guess. What do you know about the missionaries?
Like all knows, they were the one to help in the Dark Ages to stop the scourge of Grimna. They were the ones who taught the common folk here, clerics like myself and paladins around, how to use the magic of divinity.
All right. Have you heard that there's a potential threat that Grimna might be resurfacing the earth?
It's hard to tell, cause in the city of graves, sometimes that which is dead comes to life, and it is my job to make sure they stay in the graves. But it's always been like this, and I don't feel like it's been more going on now than before.
Okay, sir, I don't want to be wasting your time, but have you heard that all the missionaries are gone? Of course you have.
I've heard the stories. Don't know if I believe them.
If I told you that I might be the last missionary, would you believe me?
That depends, but you have my curiosity.
Sadly, I cannot show you because I am limited by these crystals you have around the city.
Yes, if you try to cast an illusion to deceive me, yes.
I do not wish to cast anything. I only want to convince you of my entity.
Well, you have my curiosity, but you can start by telling me how you know about Damien Obadiah's grave.
I know there's a dungeon underneath, and I have to get there before someone else does.
Yes. Try and roll a persuasion check.
Yep, that's a 22.
He looks like he's relaxing a little bit more, letting his guard down. Okay. The thing you need to know is that the most undead that come alive here always do around that grave, that area.
Alright.
Like it's a source. But I am not allowed to go down there. I am not allowed to go inside the grave. But it has also been told through my ancestry that one will come and take it away. And if I say nocturnal, what will you say?
Cree.
Okay, I am convinced.
I like to believe I am that man.
I will take you to the grave.
Thank you, sir.
But you go down at own risk. I cannot aid you.
Thank you, sir. That is all I ask.
Yes, but there is dangers down there. Know this. But the towers can, of course, not affect you on the ground.
No, they will not affect me underground. That's good.
Well, come on then. Let's go to the grave.
Yes, sir.
And he takes you outside, takes a torch, because it's dim out.
Yeah, of course.
And you go by the royal area and by the middle class area. And then you come to a place that looks like it's not been kept like the other places. The grass has grown violently, a tree has grown covering most of the place, and it seems like bones are lying on top of the ground here as well. And then he pushes the tree a little bit back, and a grave stone emerges with the name of Damien Obadiah.
Okay, yeah. Well, looks like we're here. Do you know how to get underneath?
Yeah, I do. We have to dig.
Fun.
And he has a shovel in his hand and gives it to you.
Well, I guess there's only one thing to do. And I relieve myself of any bags and pouches. And I just start digging.
And he just sits down on a neighboring grave, looking at you while you do so. And asks you, enlighten me. Who are you?
I am Zovan Velfaren.
Yes, I learned that much.
I am truly sorry, but I can't reveal too much about myself.
Pity.
But you should know that I am here in the name of Valra, and that is all I can say.
Well, let's just say I hope Valor is with you. Because when you go down there, you go into the dark.
Yeah, he's with me always.
And then he takes a lantern that is lying on the tomb next door, lights it up with his torch, puts it beside his grave, and say, I will have to do my rounds now. May Valora protect you. And he leaves.
Thank you, sir. May he protect you too.
He always does.
He always does.
And so you continue digging.
Yeah, of course, I'll dig until I can't dig no more.
Okay, you come to a point where you come to like a steel chest, ding, 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 down on the ground. And you hear, as soon as you knock it, ding, you like hear whispers.
I'm quickly looking around me to see if it's coming from the vicinity or if it's from the chest itself.
You, with your passive perception, can sense that it's coming from underneath.
Okay. Well, it's not the most comforting of sounds, but I will have to keep digging.
Yeah. As you try now and dig around, you come to what looks like a steel coffin.
Coffin, yeah. Okay, I will try to clear the coffin for any mud, around, so I have access to the whole coffin.
Yeah. So you move your dirt around to free the cover.
Yeah.
And
I will try to. If I look at it, it's just cold hard steel. Nothing. No inscriptions. No anything.
No. Just steel.
Okay. I will try to investigate the coffin to see if there's anything that could lead me to opening it.
Roll investigation.
6.
Well, you don't notice any specific things around, except what you see, which is, like I told you, a steel coffin, and the lid obviously has an edge around.
Okay. Yeah, I will try to, of course, just try to open it, see if it just opens.
When you pull on, you notice that something is blocking it. You can't completely pull it off.
Okay. I will try to search, underneath the edges of the chest to see if there's a lock anywhere.
Yeah, when you come to the corners, you see a skeleton finger coming up and like a hook holding the lid.
Okay.
In each corner.
I'll try to pick up a dagger and nudge it under to see if I can break the finger.
Mm-hmm. Can you roll a sleight of hand for me for precision?
4?
No, you can't get the blade underneath the finger because it's so tight.
Okay, so there's a finger on every corner. I can't nudge it open. There's no fifth finger anywhere.
No.
I have a crowbar. I will try and just force it open with a crowbar.
Okay, can you then roll a strength check, but use advantage with your crowbar?
18.
Yeah. As soon as you try to get the crowbar underneath the finger, it is bone. It breaks that easily. You couldn't get your knife underneath it anywhere. You couldn't get the crowbar either, but when you try to jam the crowbar inside, it breaks the finger.
Okay. Then I will try to lift the lid off the chest.
And it opens easily. Yikes, this became a 50-minute episode. Ooh, a long one. Now try to keep it between 40 to 50 minutes. Sometimes it's just too excited to cut it short, like this one. Anyway, Zovan has opened the crypt, and in next week we're gonna see him go down, down, down. It's gonna be exciting to see what happens then. This was episode 15. See you next week, nerds. Goodbye.
Thanks for stopping by.